Sea, eat bread, and Caribbean wines and spirits.
99.5 Global FM. This is 99.5 Global Radio.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
When we can see God reflected in all that exists, our hearts are moved to praise the Lord for all his creatures and to worship him in union with them. This sentiment finds magnificent expression in the hymn of St. Francis of Assisi. Praised be you, my Lord, with all your creatures, especially Sir Brother Sun, who is the day and through whom you give us light. And he is beautiful and radiant with great splendor, and bears a likeness of you, Most High. Praised be you, my Lord, through Sister Moon and the stars. In heaven you formed them clear and precious and beautiful. Praised be you, my Lord, through Brother Wind, and through the air, cloudy and serene, and every kind of weather through whom you give sustenance to your creatures. Praised be you, my Lord, through Sister Water, who is very useful and humble and precious and chaste. Praised be you, my Lord, through Brother Fire, through whom you light the night, and he is beautiful and playful and robust and strong.
Once you've watched this video, I want you to join us and support us in our fight to save our environment and saving the Bahamas. Save the bays.
Clifton Bay, save it. Breakers Bay, save it. Bimini Bay, save it. Let's save the bays. Rise up, Bahamas, and let your voices blaze. Stand up, Bahamas, come on, let's save the bays. God gave us this land, and this land we must save. Stand up, Bahamas, come on, let's save the bays.
Over. Okay. And I take it from my co-host, who's normally the one who would introduce our incredible guests on the show, Voice of the Bays, The Environment Speaks. And but today I take over that privilege from him.
All right.
About 9 years ago, we had become significantly aware. In fact, it had been years before that, of an incredible damage being done to the bosom and the belly of Mother Earth in Bimini, specifically in North Bimini. And so being absolutely conscientiously concerned, knowledgeable about what had been destroyed in light of that development, that is thousands of acres of prime red mangroves, including black mangroves as well. We decided, the Water Keys Bahamas and Save the Bays, that we would actually organize a project to begin to do some restoration or extension of the mangroves growing in Bimini, one of the most luscious corridors of trees that you could ever imagine. Winding through them could be up to 9 feet of water. And I'm setting the stage for something very profound this afternoon we're going to hear from our guests. But this gentleman here to my right, Denver Stewart, somehow he was an angelic sent to us, because when we organized with our Waterkeepers Organization and Save the Bays programs here in Grand Bahama that we would travel to Bimini. And in light of the destruction being carried out there of significant mangroves, of seabed, the nursery areas for all the seafood that we eat, we decided that we were going to begin a mangrove project in Bimini. We had help from internationally, and we were not too learned in exactly what would take place with the restoration and rejuvenation of the mangroves. But nonetheless, we proceeded with it. But why I want to introduce the gentleman here down the shore is the fact that he was one of the main arms of this whole project in Bimini. And from thence, we've had incredible value and words surrounding him and the work that he's doing there. What was really fascinating about Denver is that not only did he come out himself physically, but he had children as young as what age were they in Denver? The youngest
3, 6, and
all under 10.
5.
Yeah. All under 5.
Oh,
And they were there in the mud, in the water, actually finding a good place to plant the little mangroves that we had collected, some case in propagates, in some case in actual little young mangroves. And so that experience actually tied us significantly into this young man here this afternoon. And he has continued to work there. And I'm not going to take anything out of his mouth because Javon is going to direct him questions, and he's straight up front with this program. We're not going to be apologetic for anything. We're not going to offend anyone. But whatever we say on behalf of Mother Earth must be taken seriously, and divinely. Okay, so Javon, you could kick it off with first questions to our special guests.
Well, like you said, we're gonna get right into it. You might have seen him in the video that went viral on WhatsApp, Facebook, about the Bimini resident that was advocating for the environment, that was talking about all the stuff that's happening, and we want to hear it straight from him, a Bimini resident. What's happening? How is it affecting the locals? And just give us a background on how everything started.
Okay, good evening, Grand Bahama and the country of the Bahamas. Welcome. I could give thanks that Mr. Joe Darville and everybody here welcome me to be here today. I pay my respect in showing up and giving thanks to you for this support and this backbone we have here. But I could say here in Bimini, where I from, where most of my family from, Harlestown was always the main port of entry for North Bimini, okay? Bailey Town was the middle part of the island where they say these boys used to store bales and rum and thing back in the Prohibition days. Then we go into Porgy Bay. Porgy Bay is a settlement where, they say the first fish you catch in this settlement right into the shoreline is a porgy fish. So they call that settlement Porgy Bay. Now, when you talk about Bimini Bay is, we always known was the Bay Area in North Bimini. It was the most untouched part of North Bimini. It was the biggest bay area in North Bimini. Turtles, like 3 different species. We have the most endangered one is that hawksbill turtle. They used to nest from the inner coastal side on the open water side, which is the beach side of the island. We see now, the numbers declining, and the newborn or the juvenile turtles. It ain't because of the Bahamian fishermen overfish these animals, but these animals is protected. You ain't really supposed to violate them in no way. But when we talk about Bimini Bay isn't even, carrying the same name that was given to that settlement. That settlement now is called Resort World Bimini. I mean, that is unacceptable to me.
So say that name again.
Resort World Bimini.
Resort World Bimini.
I think there's some time investors would move in our home, and I can't say we could put the blame on them, because as far as we know, Capo is the main developer. He been developing Bimini Bay from around 1997. They done, I talk about excavate, I talking about most of the mangroves in that area there. Where the Hilton Hotel is today was water. We used to fish there as kids.
Wow.
The man-made island across from Hilton with all these visitors visiting my homes, taking pictures from the top floor of the infinity pool on the eastern side of the top of the Hilton Hotel. That area was water, my brother. I could be real. Bimini Bay settlement got its name is because it was the biggest bay area. It was only a bay. That's where we used to go to have picnics and like local parties. So today, that settlement is the widest part of North Bimini. It's the highest part of North Bimini, and it's the most developed part of North Bimini, which is not owned by Biminites. Biminites, I can't say they agree to have this development. I know that some governments, whoever bring these developers to our home, it was a long list of litigation measures that these men agree that before we do this development, we will carry out these set of developments, which never happened from 1997 up to 2025, right now. So, no improved clinic, never happened. No improved high school, never happened. You know what I mean? And to see there's so much things. I can't recall everything out of my own head, but I can tell you, there's a long list. Couple, Cuban American. This man came in here with whoever government brought him in. The government don't live in Bimini. The government ain't from Bimini. The government gone against the Bahamians by bringing investors in our home, having these little town meeting for 15, 20 minutes, signing and approving over crown land to foreigners. The foreigners develop these land, develop our natural environments, kill out most of our life, wildlife that we was depending on for over 200 years. When you talk to someone like me, you talking to a generational Bimonite person. You talking to Denver still today, but listen to me, Manny Rule is my great-great-grandfather. Manny Rule was a legend. I mean, he died now, but he was a legend in his days. Manny Rule was a great fisherman, a great businessman. He also made it to the Hall of Fames for his great work. And he also fished with Hemingway. Hemingway used to visit Bimini. He wrote the Island in the Streams, Old Man in the Sea. But also when you talk about Bimini, you gotta come talk to Biminites. You gotta talk to Biminites with no right and with no wrong, so you will have a clear understanding. When you give in the people, which is foreign investors, our crown land, which is my birthright, which is our birthright, which is our kids' generational birthright. Okay? When you bring in a foreigner into my island, which is small as Bimini is, Bimini just made third place in the revenue in the whole country. Bimini is smaller than Grand Bahama, smaller than Nassau. Bimini is generating the same level of millions of dollars every year, annually. Okay? So when you talk about development, if they can't put this in a way where Biminites be able to buy at least 5,000% shares in these developments. I ain't talking about no mangrove development. We ain't getting there. I'm talking about the new development now. Because right now, the jobs is being affected in Bimini because everyone trying to grab what they can grab. But the mangrove on the north end of North Bimini is being threatened by the same investor, Kapoor. Okay? Kapoor done develop over him and OPAC done develop over 1,000 acres of mangrove habitat, seabed habitat. Okay? When you have that type of damage being done, and then you have PLP, say, oh, we can do everything in our power. Then you got F&M, oh, we can make sure, give the people what they need. This words, this something never been done. Then I see as a young man like me, I don't deal with politics and I'm not getting involved. But when you see the topic with Lincoln being talking, okay, maybe he's the man for this country.
Don't you talk politics here today now?
Well, I mean, I ain't gonna get too deep in all that, but I tell you, I don't vote for F&M, I don't vote for PLP, okay, and I don't see where we is today, okay?
Okay, let me interject here one little bit, Dan, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
I want you to zero in on this prospect that is being thrown out there, that these incredible, they've already destroyed thousands and thousands of acres of prime mangroves, which is a crime, not only against the nation, but also against the Almighty Creator. But they were there for a purpose. And in my discussions with you and many of the fishermen from Bimini, and when we were down there having our town hall meetings to try and save North Bimini, of course, the powers that be allowed them just to go ahead and to dredge the ocean. So what they had done was all of the old machinery, and we've observed this and have pictures to that effect. They dumped all of the old machinery on beautiful prime mangroves, particularly red mangroves growing in the water and on the land edge of the North Bimini near the development. And then, of course, they were at that time dredging to open the bottom enough so that a big ship can come in there to dock.
Yes, sir.
So all of that aggregate,
the cruise ship port. Oh, yes, sir.
So all of that aggregate, millions of tons that they dredged and killing the Three Sisters, little islands out, no life around that anymore. Totally decimated. I saw them around that about 10 years ago, and oh my God, I mean the most illustrious animals around there, and coral reefs, there's flame, soft coral, hard coral, all is gone. So I wanted to look at what this present perspective is, because in the North Bimini area, when you used to go up there yourself as a little boy and you had buckets of shrimp, no small tooth sawfish anymore.
No,
all gone.
No cycles.
The sharks are not even going up in there anymore because there's nothing up there for them to feed on. So now what are they doing? They're coming by your docks and they're eating the guts of the fish that they never did before. So all of these things, when you impact negatively the belly and the bosom of our Mother Earth, you're going to suffer for it one way or another. And this hellishness that goes on, and we've been fighting this now for years and years. And then the reason for us coming to do that mangrove project there, Denver, was that we wanted to pass the message on that these mangroves, those red mangroves in particular, which is the home, the first nation for all the fish that we eat, that they are important. They are sacred. They are protected. So how do you destroy something that's protected? So bring us up to date exactly on what you hear and I have some of this information that I cannot put out over the air because it's been given to me in confidence, but it really rattles my brain and my heart that we could have this type of collusion in our country. So continue with that. I just wanted to get that a little bit in the
Yes, sir. You're right, Mr. Joe. I think as they continue to develop the natural environment, we can continue to lose more of our wildlife. We can continue to lose more of our marine life. And when this damage be already done, like we say, we talking about today, what they going to do, but we got to remember, like you say, the damage what was already done. From 1997, they've been digging up iron and good stuff. This ain't benefiting me, because if I need fill to fill in my land, the rubber is the whole seabed of the Great Bahama Bank. When you talk about shallow water in the Bahamas, that's a resource of the Bahamas. The name of that resource is a rubber. That's valuable conversations we talking about now. It's valuable when the Bahamian have to pay for it. But the Bahamians is who need it. The Bahamians is who born here. Yeah. That's the resources of their land. That's right. They don't have access to it. The government bringing in foreign people, okay? They dredging out metric tons. Hey, Mr. Joe, metric tons. They're dredging and shipping out the country.
That's creation, because all coral based.
But listen, if nature had right here, I'm talking about inches deep like this, and you excavate that over 50 feet deep, the resources they excavate out of that area ain't benefiting none of us as Bahamians. It benefiting the foreigners because they're making these man-made beaches, these private islands and things where they buy privately. Then they have private signs, no trespassing, private property. So how this helping us? Ain't no job could help us, ain't no foreign investor could help us. If it's a foreign investment to come in here, y'all gotta come in here like this. One way. If it's a project, if it's a development, we ain't agreeing to no job, because we ain't waiting for y'all. What we go agree to is one thing. We got money too. Let us buy shares into this project, okay? Don't come tell me, oh, you would give them this 1,000 acres of land and then I would be a towel boy or a bus boy or a landscaper. Come on, man, we been up out of these things, man. We need to wake up and get billions built up out of this ground owned by me and you. Not these foreign investors, because listen, if you come to Wake Lake, you know what they gonna say? Guess what they gonna say? Man, I don't think we could keep you. I think we have to let you go. That's foolishness, man. You know what I mean? I stand against all of that, and they gotta come through me.
So, just before we continue, I just want to tell everyone that you listening to the Environment Speaks on Global 99.5 FM. Our topic today is Christ Continue to Save North Bimini Bay Mangrove Nursery with our guest, Denver Stewart. I'm sure a lot of you want to call in, so here's the number, 602-1033, 602-1033. Call in, be a part of the conversation with us. We talking about it now. When I was listening to the video and stuff, and from my understanding, and a lot of people don't really understand fully what's going on. Thousands of acres of mangrove is going to be cleared out to make a golf course.
They already did. The area was already cleared out for the resort. We advertising now, Resort World Bimini. That's over 1,000 acres of land in small Bimini is owned by a foreigner.
And more. Wow. So we have a caller.
Hello?
Yes,
go ahead.
Caller. You're on there.
Go ahead, caller. Hello? Yes,
you're
go
on
ahead.
there.
You're there.
Yes, good afternoon. Sorry, I had to put the phone on speaker. Mr. Joe Darville, right?
Right.
And what's your name, ma'am?
We have Denver on.
Miss Denver, and the old guest, the guy who just talked from North Bimini. Everything is conscious. I agree on everything. My name is Ken Delano from Facebook Guamama. And one thing we left to know is Welcome. There's a company named Welcome. Yesterday, I saw four stripy clouds in the sky over Guamama. Now, what this does, this mess with the our ecosystem, our environment, and I see marine and everything too. Because for years, when we were small, we were looking up in the sky and see these planes with big form of clouds coming out of them. It's magnets, it's pollution, it's radiation, chemical, powder, and everything destroying our mind goals and destroying our health in this world. And just like the producer say on the radio, he against it, oh, I'm with him, and I'm against it, and I'm hurt to this Mother Earth. And they're destroying our life, and they're destroying us with this technology. You understand? So we got to put our sight on the stuff we're dropping from the sky. What we ain't paying attention to, killing us, getting a disease, messing up every... You mean, mama, oh, y'all have a good day. I love y'all.
Thank you, caller. From what I understand, the call was a little bit distorted, but what he was talking about was chemtrails. Yeah, so he's talking about chemtrails that contain, different things in the trail that flow down and all that stuff. But we wanna talk about what's happening in Germany. We have another call coming in. Oh, so we have another. So if you can continue talking about it, it's more than 1,000 acres that's been cleared down to create like golf courses and such. That's what you were saying.
No, they ain't really reached the level of. I mean, they ain't really reached that borderline yet.
Okay.
Right now, Rockwell Island. The eastern, Rockwell Island is the part of the resort way up around your back.
Okay.
Where they got the 2-story homes on the beach with a pool.
Yeah.
Then they have a main street go through, and then across that street is a dock house and a canal private dock.
Yeah, I saw that.
That whole area, I talking about Borough owls, Bimini boa snakes. We talking about the curly tail, the lizard with his do push up. You remember that lizard? The bobtail lizard. All right. We talking about the land crab. So much different species of sea birds and land birds nest in this area. They dig that area up. After they dig it up, that's where they put the wakers. They live in dorms. These people sharing room and thing, living in bunk bed and thing. Get up over this place, man. What we need to do is if the police in any of our land, we need to revoice his lease. You see what I'm saying? As simple as that.
We got another caller coming in. Caller, can you hear us? Hello, caller, on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, caller.
Yes, I'm calling from It sounds very faint.
Distorted?
I can barely hear you. I'm not sure if you can hear me clearly.
We can hear you.
You can hear you. The speakers, the best you can is.
Hello?
Go ahead, caller.
Yes. I was just calling into the show to express my concern about what's happening in Bimini. I don't know, am I on the air?
Yes, you can. We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very bothered to see what the people in Bimini have to go through, that we should even be having such discussions about protecting their nursery system there. That's just common sense. And the mere fact that the people in Bimini have to be making a choice between some development that's going to destroy their main nursery system is just ludicrous. It shows you how we are just gone off the rails in our country when it comes to the dollar bill by any means necessary. And those nursery systems in the northern Bahamas, they support the entire country ecosystem. So if I had a choice in it, the people in Bimini would not be even having this discussion. That area should be protected. I mean, immediately, and you send a clear message to these developers that we're not just going to be prostituting ourselves for the dollar bill at the end of the day. So I just wanted to call in from Andros. My name is Prescott Smith, just to let them know I support what Denver and them are standing up for there.
Yes, sir.
And, I'll do whatever I can do in any which way I can to add additional support. Keep up the fight.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for calling in.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Contact.
All right. Take care.
Mhm. So while we were listening to the caller, I was looking at the website for the development.
Yes, sir.
And it's, to be clear, they want to clear another 750 acres. So I will just talk briefly about my experience in Bimini. We went to Bimini to look at the mangrove areas, and a lot of times as visitors, we only see the populated areas. We only see, flying in, taking the ferry over and doing what we have to do, leaving. But I was able to go out on a boat in Bimini, and it's a totally different experience, Bimini by boat, especially when you go through the mangroves, which is something I feel like every Bahamian should do.
Yes,
I've never seen mangroves look like that. Denver was able to take us through the path, through this winding path through there, and we saw the bust of Martin Luther King. We were able to go to the healing hole. I saw mangroves form in the middle of the water in this big old circle. I'm like, what in the world is that? So it was a lot of firsts for me being in Bimini and being able to experience that. Especially going to the healing hole and going through that whole experience.
Yes, sir.
And after seeing all of those, the magnificence of these mangroves, only to hear about that being destroyed. Like, I feel like sometimes people can't see or really experience what it is until they go there and experience what it is. Because otherwise it's to the average person, it's just like, oh, it's just mangroves, oh, it's just a tree, but no, it's not.
No.
Everything that you eat starts where? As a fisherman, everything that we like to eat starts where? Like, it starts in the mangroves. All of the bigger fish, sharks, turtles, all that stuff, they go to the mangroves to have their young.
Yes, sir.
And please elaborate on what will happen if there are no mangroves. What would happen to life for the average Bahamian, for the fishermen, for the people that like to eat what the fishermen bring in? Like, what would life be like if those areas are destroyed? And I want you to drive that home.
Yes. Well, life will be like, I believe we'll go back in the Stone Age times. I mean, I just being real. What we get to eat sand?
Ain't been no food.
I mean, it ain't about, how this could affect the fishermen. We talking about if you was a Bahamian, this will affect you. Because you might have an aunt, you might have an uncle, have a conch shack, but you still is eat the same thing.
Yeah.
So if we is depending on these natural environments to reproduce and triple,
And replenish
to
itself.
keep our generation strong, like how they say Bahamian strong. That conch ain't got no bone, that conch just a muscle.
Yeah.
Hey, let me call in here every time I remember something, my aged brain, I got to speak, but it tells me too. If all of that area, for example, where they planning to push, that area is, water is in that area something like 9 feet. We actually measured at one particular point in time, areas of 9 feet of water flowing through these corridors of incredible mangroves. And when we go into that area, like with your boat, we go right up against the big mother tree, the
Where we harvest.
Go way up
We
there.
harvest the property.
You shake the tree and dilly drop.
This dropping on our head.
The proper view and one flat foot in front soil. So it stopped right in my head there. So this is, I mean, how do the Bimonites feel about that? That someone could come into the country and just willy-nilly destroy something that was there from our eternity, that fed the people any morning and day and so forth. Tell us about the multitude of, you talked about the birds, etc., but the type of fish that migrate up into that area. I want them to have a picture of
Millions.
it, and if you don't know, go online. Sorry.
You keep serving.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You say go online and
No, go online and do what?
no, I what you were saying. Yeah, but what I understand is the damage what was already done. Okay, the shrimp bed dig up, no shrimps. If we have shrimps, I talk it, but man, there's something they can't even feed the big game fish what used to come in our waters for the amount of abundance of marine life born in the north sound of North Bimini. Right where the resort gate start, it was mangrove from there, go all the way through. You understand what I'm saying? See, people that's talking about the Gulf Coast, what they could do. We got to remember what was already done. You understand?
Yeah.
The goggle eye, when you see they used to have big game local fishing tournament, the Hatteras and the all these yachts coming over and they catch these world record toners, world record marlins. When Hemingway wrote these books talking about Island in the Stream, Old Man in the Sea, these fish came from south up through the Gulf of Mexico, came past Florida Keys. The only thing straight ahead is Bimini. Bimini, for them, marine life was like all you could eat buffet. Because we had the lab they're called Liner's Lab, was a team of marine science. That's our scientists, right where the police station is today. The whole compound was a marine lab. Across the street from there, not a big game, they had all the pens and all of the dolphins and all of the marine life in cages. They were studying them. When you talk about people like Hansel Sandnish and Ashley Sandnish, these boys been to college in Bimini, right to the same Linus Lab place. But, you know, the damage was already done, you know, on what's going on right now with further development. We stand against that. We stand against that. With everything we got, our foot rooted in the ground like oaks. You heard I tell you? I talking to every Bimonite, Grand Bahamian, Nasurian, Androsian, Abaconian. I talking to the whole country. Everybody got to wake up and realize that we must not sell our birthrights out for a job because you could get fired at any point. Right now, you say Kapoor talking about this 700 and something acre Gulf Coast. He dreamed that the man need to wake up out his dream. Let me show you something. Every project this man do is a failure. Okay? You know how much homeowners done sue him? You understand? This man just advertising the Banyan Tree Hotel. Yeah, the Banyan Tree Hotel is the new advertisement they advertising, okay? Banyan Tree advertising the bill over the water bungalows on East Bimini, okay? On the 18-hole Gulf Coast. I asked the Banyan Tree Hotel, whoever these people is, to back out now. This ain't gonna be good for y'all. Y'all cannot come to our home and develop no more natural habitats, okay? We stand against it. Kapoor, every project he had was a failure. You understand? Right now, his partners is the Malaysians. That's who call Resort World. Okay? They own how much ever locations for destination tourist travels around the world. They came to Bimini. I mean, maybe Kapo invite them now. All right. Now, they had fallen out with each other. Because either they crooked or he crooked, someone crooked. All I know is Kapo suing his partners, the Malaysian, for 600 million. I ready to sue him for 300 because the litigation measures that he agreed to do in our island, it ain't happened yet. The only thing happening is more development in our natural environment, what we stand against.
Wow.
We stand against. These mangrove and these environments been feeding Bahamians, not only Biminites, for over 200-300 years. This man been there from 1997 to 2025. He done rippled majority of our natural environments. When the local tournament used to take place at Big Game, we had the hardest yachts coming over, like I was saying earlier. When these boys enter these local fishing tournament, you know how the locals used to make their money? They used to catch a fish called the goggle-eye fish. That's a bait fish, okay? You know where this bait fish home was? North Bimini in a coastal. You know where these goggle-eye fish is now? They don't exist in Bimini.
Wow.
You know why? Because their natural environment was destroyed. This ain't got nothing to do with overfishing. If it's a type of algae or whatever type thing growing there with this feed and mature and grow and put on enough weight, they grow from newborn, they grow to juvenile, and they venture out there in the coastal into deeper waters.
Wow.
When they reach offshore in deeper waters, that's where we get the tuna, we get the billfish, the wahoo, the kingfish, the mahi dolphins, and all these big game fish, which is right offshore our island, quarter mile off, 200 feet. To 450 feet. You zigzag along the continental shelf, my brother, they'll yuck your rod out the whole stuff. But these things been declining ever since the developers came from 1997. We only talking about 2025, what they want to do. We talking about what they already done. I's a Bimonite, I's a 5th generation, 6th generation. My family do not own 1,000 acres of Bimini land, but it's owned by a foreigner.
Let me. You got to.
No, I just was gonna say, like, before we bring on our young reporter, Mateo, I just wanted, I guess we could start saying what's most important to you, but also people who want to join the fight or people who want to know more what's going on, we need to know where they could go.
Okay. Well,
to find out more information.
It's a petition that we need every Bimonite to get their hands on. We'll make it publicly. You get this petition. And the petition is the same thing we talking about, preserving the rest of the natural environment we have there in Bimini. Because a hurricane season approaching. When you see if it's a hurricane due to make landfall, my brother, Capone whole family on a plane and they going back where they from. We ain't got no bunkers or nothing we could go on, but come on, man, let's be real, bro. These people come destroy everything. Like I say, the project he did fail, okay? He in war right now in Miami put his partners, in court because his project failed. So if his project failed, how much Bahamians could get laid off and get fired because this company fall?
Yeah.
You understand? We can't depend on no job. We gotta invest our own money in our own home with a foreign investor idea. If he got a good idea, let him bring his idea. We got our money, we got our investment. I need 5,000% shares, and me and every Bimonite also.
So
I ain't a grain of no job.
Yeah.
We ain't waiting for them. Let our money wait for us because we got the land, we got the air, we got the sea, and we got the beaches.
So we have not just persons calling in, but persons messaging us with some more information. So if those listening want to find out more information, you can go on Instagram at save_Bimini on Instagram, save_Bimini on Instagram, and the person who's writing into me has another point. There's been no EIA for Banyan Tree. There's been no public meetings, things that are required by law. So there's a lot going on that needs to be brought to the public's attention. And if you want to find out more information, please go on Instagram at save_Bimini, at save_Bimini, so you can find out more information on what's happening. You can see the videos that are already up, which is given information from different perspectives, and you can just stay abreast on what's happening right here in the Bahamas on our own. In the Bahamas, in Bimini. So stay tuned. It's everybody's concern. It's not just one person's concern. So go on Instagram, look them up, and find out more information on what's happening so you can be well informed.
Yes,
right? And too bad we only have an hour show, so we got about 10 minutes left.
All right.
And time flew. So we want to invite Mateo to come on up here, and he's a young reporter for the environment. I'm going to just read a little thing and ask Mateo some information. So while he's coming up, we're going to ask Mateo some information. He entered the Briefs, a photo entry for Briefs Young Reporter of the Environment competition, and he was selected to advance to the international competition. So Mateo is a native Grand Bahamian. He's been involved with mangrove restoration activities. I think, Mateo, you even won one of our our essay competitions, because I remember taking a picture of you for something. Like, Mateo's been involved with a lot of different stuff. So welcome, Mateo.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the Young Reporters of the Environment and how you got involved.
I entered the photo entry, and I took a photo of this sign that says no dumping, but exactly to the left there's many trash bags and tires and toys, and there's just a lot of dumping right next to the sign that specifically says no dumping. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we were just talking about that before.
Yeah.
Everyone got here. Like, it's crazy. At the speed humps, at the signs that say no littering, that's where the most trash is concentrated. And for those listening, we had a lot of fires happening in Grand Bahama. I want to say precisely because there's been a lot of littering. And what's in the forest? What did you see?
Yeah, there's a lot of bottles, because before I entered this photo, I was gonna enter a photo about fire, but every fire there was tons and tons and tons of bottles.
Yeah. So what made you want to join this competition? I know I've seen you done environmental stuff. What made you want to make a difference like this by being a young reporter?
Well, I wanted to join so I could make a difference and show the rest of the world and the Bahamas how littering and dumping are causing harm to our ecosystems and our health and our food, and
everything is related. And you attend a green flag school, right?
Yes.
What is a green flag school?
A green flag school is a school that has a green flag, and this green flag basically means that they're an eco school. I personally attend BMES, or Bishop Michael Eldon School. And
yeah, I've seen some of the stuff y'all did. You had the eco fashion show. You've grown mangroves. You've been a part of the mangrove restoration. Y'all have done an anti-littering campaign. You've done a ton of cleanups, and you've also done research on water research, was it?
Yes, I believe so.
Could you could you tell me a little bit more about that? Oh, the water research? Well water? Was it well water?
Yes.
Okay, so you also did some research on our well water. Were you measuring the amount of rainfall?
Yes.
Okay, and so we haven't been getting a lot of rain lately, so it wasn't much to measure lately, right? Okay, so anything else you want to tell us before we start making announcements and stuff?
Bring your paper up.
Yeah.
Put it right on the table. She'll come back.
No.
Okay.
Change his mind.
I didn't see that on the paper.
What's that?
Say no.
say no. So you're in the top. You made top 3 for the young reporters competition.
Yes.
Okay. And with regards to littering, is there anything you want to tell the nation now that you have this platform? What you want to say about anti-littering or this campaign, what you found?
Don't litter. Even if it saves you 2 minutes of going to a garbage can, it'll cause you a lot of pain later.
We gotta clap for that, y'all. Don't litter. Yeah. I gotta say that. I just gotta repeat that. That is the truth. We've been clearing up and cleaning up a lot of trash that's on the beaches. The Keep Grand Bahama Clean, they've been really good on spreading the message of anti-littering, especially throwing bottles and stuff along the street. We want to encourage everyone that's listening to us to please wait until you get to a trash and throw it in. It's that simple. It's that easy. Uncle Joe, he's always talking about maybe keeping a trash bag or plastic or whatever you have in your car. Put your trash in there. And as soon as you get to your final destination, even though that was a crazy movie, we get to our final destination, just throw it in the trash. It's that simple. We have everywhere we go, I'm noticing a lot of trash on the side of the street. So we just want to remind you to keep it clean, throw stuff in the trash. It seems like we got a caller. Call in. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Caller, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Go ahead, caller.
You can't hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay. The young man that called a while ago, I'm crying about the landing in Bibini.
Yeah.
He sounds like a really poor rat. Now, what he's talking about and complaining about, all the things he said that the foreigner is doing, why don't they do it before the foreigner arrives? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they rent the foreigners from there, they don't have the funds to keep Bibini booming. Okay? So everybody's saying Bibini is booming, Bibini is booming. So you need to stop crying and thank God that they have foreigners there. Thank you.
Well, she got with her 2 cents. We have 5 minutes left of the program, and I'm pretty sure if we bring that law back here to address that, we need an hour. We need at least an hour. Just in a nutshell, what would you say from over there?
One thing I could say. Bimini was surviving without foreigners. Okay? Without major development. Okay? Maybe if the government gave us access to the crown land was supposed to be owned by us, then we'd have been able to do something in our own home. Okay.
So, caller, again, I want everyone to just go on over to Instagram at save_Bimini on Instagram and check out all of the things that's happening. We have a couple more announcements in our last 3 or so minutes. We have Community Day at Conservation Cove. We at Waterkeepers were a part of, we have the Mangrove Nursery at Conservation Cove. It's our 2nd annual Community Day, so we welcome the public to come on out and experience all of what's happening at Conservation Cove. We have the coral farm, we have the conch hatchery, and we have the mangrove nursery. So come on out on May 3rd, Saturday, May 3rd, and come and see what we're doing out there. We welcome all ages, and we ask that you pay attention to all of our social media platforms so you can get more information on what's happening. And also, we have calling all brainiacs and animal lovers. Tomorrow night, swing by the Garden of the Groves for an epic pub quiz to support the Humane Society. And the trivia showdown starts at 7:30. Just $10 to join, and every cent goes to caring for Grand Bahama's furry friends. Rally your crew, bring your A game, and let's make a difference. So, yep, we're at the last few minutes of the show. So, Mr. Darville, do you have any final words?
No, I just hope that we could have had Denver for another hour because that man is like a walking encyclopedia.
Over there right now, saying he would say on this last minute.
Come from Bimini, so he'll come say last 2 minutes.
You got a last minute. Well, before then, was that Mateo? Any last words?
Come on, anything last words?
There's a beach cleanup tomorrow. So if you want to chip in and make the world a better place, Williamstown Beach.
Okay. Thank you for coming on the show, Mateo. And now, Denver, tell us your final words. We got about a minute.
Okay. Quick minute, use 30 seconds.
Good to have me back again. Whoever that lady was, no disrespect, right? But you weak. Let me tell you why. Okay? One thing with me, with every beat in my chest, I defend where I call home, boy. From you ain't from here, you gotta go when you ain't. When you don't do what you supposed to do, and you agree to do what you supposed to do and you didn't do, get up and get out. That's how I do.
You see why whenever we were hard on mangroves, propaganda, we know exactly where to head because this man sleeps, dreams, eat, digest, elevate himself on the magnificent mangroves in North Bimini, which still exist, but there was an abundance of them many, many years into the future a little while ago. And that's what he is trying to say. Let's protect these God-given mangroves. For example, even the sharks know better. And I was going to ask Denver a question about why the shark coming along with the dogs now, eating fish guts. I know the answer.
Sorry.
Because once they go up in North Bimini, and they circle around for a while, and they catch their own live fish and then go back out into the ocean. Now they can't do that anymore. There's nothing up there left that anything like a shark or a dolphin or something can survive on. And so now they're moving out, they're getting fish guts from fishermen on the docks. All of those are signs to Biminites that something seriously has gone wrong. And indeed, and that's why I honor Denver. He gets carried out in the elements and so forth, but I could understand his frustration.
It's but I can see one thing.
Yeah,
One thing, if we keep allowing people to develop in the natural environments, we can have more problem with the wildlife on us because we approaching on their natural environment where they call home. See, we live on the mainland. We don't live in the mangrove creeks, but they're trying to extend development in those areas so we can have more attacks with these wild animals. I'm sorry to say that it ain't gonna be my fault. I'm trying to make everyone aware that you have to respect a tiger shark, a bull shark, and these things that stay home.
Okay, we'll be back. All right, they're off it. 2 weeks. Thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Save the base.
Clifton Bay, save it. Breakers Bay, save it. Bimini Bay, save it. Let's save the bays. Rise up, Bahamas, and let your voices blaze. Stand up, Bahamas, come on, let's save the bays. God gave us this land, and this land we must save. Stand up, Bahamas, come on, let's save the bays. A coalition's forming to stand up for what's right, to protect our Bahamas, and we're prepared to fight. Protecting our waters, protecting our land. Stop destroying our beaches and deepen all our sand. God gave us this land, and this land we must protect. So when I say save it, why should you object? We must protect the fauna, we must protect the flora. We must save it for our kids for a better tomorrow. Hey! Rise up, Bahamas, let your voices blaze. Stand up, Bahamas, come on, let's save the base. God gave us this land, and this land we must save. Stand up, Bahamas, come on, let's save the base. Woo! Yes! Come on, let's go! Rise up, Bahamas, rise up, Bahamas, come on! Now all you politicians